What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that all of you are having a wonderful Wednesday. So, Sean Diddy Combs has been hit with a fourth lawsuit today. This lawsuit is by a woman who was underage during the time that the alleged SA happened. So, Diddy writes on his Instagram, quote, "Enough is enough. For the past couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs." So on the right, we have the young woman's lawsuit, and in red, similarly to Cassie when she filed her lawsuit, it is a trigger warning because of the graphic details contained within the lawsuit. So let me read this article from the New York Times that just recently came out. It says, quote, "In the complaint, an unnamed woman says that she was flown from the Detroit area to New York on a private plane, and she was assaulted by multiple men in a recording studio. Mr. Combs denies all the allegations. Sean Combs, the hip-hop mogul who has been named in 3 recent lawsuits accusing him of R, now faces a 4th complaint by a woman who says that Mr. Combs and 2 other men ganged her in a New York recording studio." So 20 years ago when she was 17 years old. And here, right in the lawsuit, it says, unlike many of the other victims who have come forward after decades, Ms. Doe, because she's going by Jane Doe, she is the only one with Mr. Combs on the right. So she has pictures. So you guys can see here, they're at his recording studio in New York City, and she was with him that night. She's sitting on his lap, y'all. You see in the top video there, or top picture there. She was 17 years old. There's no reason why a 30-something-year-old man should have a teenager in his lap, ever. But let me go ahead and keep reading. In the latest lawsuit filed on Wednesday in Federal District Court in Manhattan, the woman, who was not named in the court papers, described a nightmarish scene on the night of in 2003 when she was in the 11th grade. The woman says in the complaint that she met 2 associates of Mr. Combs at a lounge in the Detroit area. They took her on a private plane to New York. There, the suit says the 3 men gave the woman copious amounts of substances and alcohol, and they took turns SAing her in the studio's bathroom as she drifted in and out of consciousness. When they were done, the suit says the woman fell into a fetal position in the bathroom, lying on the floor in pain, and she was soon driven to the airport and put on a plane back to Michigan. Then they, through his lawyers, Mr. Combs has denied the allegations in the 3 earlier suits. So Douglas Wigdor, a lawyer for the unidentified woman, released his own statement saying, quote, "As alleged in the complaint, defendants preyed upon a vulnerable high school teenager as a part of a SA trafficking scheme that involved plying her with alcohol and transporting her by a private jet to New York City, where she was assaulted by multiple men by 3 individual defendants at Mr. Combs' studios. The depravity of these abhorrent acts," he said, "scarred the young woman for life." Wow. I hope that she's able to get therapy. The first of the recent lawsuits against Mr. Combs was filed on November 16th by Cassandra Ventura, a singer once signed to Mr. Combs' label Bad Boy, who was also his longtime girlfriend. In a 35-page graphic complaint, Miss Ventura, who performs by Cassie, accused him of R and forcing her to be intimate with a series of male prostitutes, as well as subjecting her to violent beatings that took place over nearly a decade. And that case was settled in just 1 day. Mr. Combs denied the allegations, and Ms. Ventura said in a statement that the case had been resolved. But Ms. Ventura's suit, even after its settlement, was followed by other accusations that now confront Mr. Combs, who's 54 years old, just a few months ago celebrated as one of the most, yeah, we know, at the 50th anniversary hip hop. Two more suits against Mr. Combs were filed within days of Miss Ventura's. See, and that's what I mean. Like, one person, with Cassie, and he settled that after 24 hours. But Diddy is known throughout the industry as being violent. We just didn't know the graphic details. So last week, Mr. Combs stepped aside as chairman of Revolt, his cable TV network. In Diego, the alcoholic beverage giant, Mr. Combs is now suing them over allegations that he was treated unequally due to the fact that he's black, which the company denies, and told a New York judge that the tequila brand could not continue to feature Mr. Combs in its promotional material. Yeah, Diddy, this isn't racism. This is just you reaping what you've sown. Go ahead. The company said in the court filing that his now toxic image, okay, exactly, black or not, made it impossible for him to continue to be the face of anything. I know that's right. And they told him the truth. Because he got also kicked out of the charter school that he started in Harlem with Dr. Steve Perry. In the most recent suit, the unidentified woman says that she was there with friends at a lounge in Detroit when she met Harve Pierre, Bad Boy's former president, who was also named as a defendant in the case and is accused of taking part in assaulting the young woman. The woman, according to the court papers, told Mr. Pierre, and Mr. Pierre told her that Mr. Combs would love to meet her. And then in a bathroom, Mr. Pierre demanded for her to service his private area before asking her to accompany him on a private flight to New York City. While at the recording studio, according to the suit, the woman met Mr. Combs and took a photo sitting on his lap, which we see here at the top there, that top picture, which was included in the complaint and her face obscured. Miss Doe became more and more inebriated, eventually to the point where she could not have possibly consented to having to being intimate with anyone, much less someone twice her age. Eventually, the lawsuit says Mr. Combs directed her into the bathroom where he SA'd her. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this within the YouTube guidelines. Then sat in a chair outside the bathroom watching as another unnamed man assaulted her, SA'd her. The suit says that Mr. Pierre SA'd her last. Mr. Pierre could not be reached for comment. He was named in another earlier case, and I made a separate video about that one, guys, so go check that out if you haven't seen it already. That was filed last month, accused him of grooming and SAing an assistant at Bad Boy. A spokesperson for Bad Boy, which was also named as a defendant in the case, which against Mr. Pierre, said that the company was investigating the allegations. The new lawsuit says, or it is being filed under New York City's Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Act, which for a limited period of time allows accusers to file civil complaints involving SA claims after the statute of limitations has run out. Mr. Wigdor said that the suit was filed in federal court because the plaintiff and the defendant both live outside of New York. In the latest suit, the woman said that she suffered significant emotional distress in the 2 decades since the encounter, and that reading about the cases filed by Ms. Ventura and 2 other plaintiffs led her to file her own. So here we have a little bit of her lawsuit as well. It says, on the evening of question, Ms. Doe was with friends in a lounge when she was approached by who she later learned was Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre was with his own friends, including the third assailant. Mr. Pierre, the third assailant, and their friends were dressed in suits. Mr. Pierre repeatedly complimented Ms. Doe's appearance, saying that she was hot, among other things, and then he began talking about his self-described best friend and brother, Mr. Combs. Specifically, Mr. Pierre continually stated that Mr. Combs would love to meet Ms. Doe. Mr. Pierre even called Mr. Combs and put Ms. Doe on the line. Mr. Combs told Ms. Doe that he would love to meet her and that she should accompany Mr. Pierre to New York City in a private jet. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Pierre directed Ms. Doe to go with him to the bathroom in the lounge. Once inside the bathroom, Mr. Pierre, he began to smoke uh, the cocoa from what appeared to be an aluminum can. I'm sorry, that part caught me off guard, y'all. Honestly, none of this is funny, and I really hope that this woman, similarly to Cassie, gets the money that she's asking for, gets the therapy and the help that she needs. But yeah, Diddy is done. I don't know what, um, you know, when one person says something about you, it's a lot easier to dispute it than multiple people and the witnesses, right? Like his bodyguard has spoken out, Roger Bonds, all these people have these stories of essentially surviving Diddy. So, you know, him talking about enough was enough, it should have been enough back in the 90s. But these are my thoughts. I want to hear from you guys. What are you thinking about this young woman now speaking out? Again, like I said, I hope that she is successful. I feel like she is, but I hope that she will be. But let me know in the comment section. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And I will talk with you later. Take care, Aces. Enjoy your Wednesday. Bye.